Warning: this stream is rated for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Enigma Blockbuster Cinema Theater and the EBC Thanksgiving Special. Welcome. I know there's not many of you here now, but welcome anyway. How do we start this off? Well, first of all, over here, I put together some like fall vistas. Uh, as you may have got from the intro, I'm trying to keep it very calm and serene during this. We're going to have a little bit of fun too, closer to the end. But yeah, just like my ideal sense of fall and autumn, to be more exact, is this just the beauty of nature and everything that comes with it. Not only, I mean, October generally is probably my favorite, not only because of Halloween, but because it finally cools down for the year, and the nature is beginning this process that we see with the trees changing color, the leaves about to fall. It has cooled down. We might get a little bit of rain, and just in general, it seems like nature's kind of calmer. From storms of the summer and the bugs and the heat and whatever else, and the fall has always had a calming effect on me, very serene, and just in general, that's why it's my favorite time of the year, and a lot of people's, I think, simply because this is also the time when you're going to start getting together with family, especially maybe people that you haven't seen in a long time, and having celebrations and good food and things of that nature. So let me see if I can bring this up here. There we go. Little soft, chill music to watch the trees by. And yeah. So just in general, want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. You never know what changes in the seasons are going to bring. Here, let me turn that down a bit. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. And yeah, the beauty of autumn just really strikes me in a lot of different ways. You often hear about like people traveling to go see like changes in other parts of the country. I know they kind of like made fun of that in Family Guy years ago. People that lived in the city, New York, where you didn't necessarily have access to nature, would go down into like Rhode Island and parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, Virginia, just to get away from the city and get into nature and look at all its splendor, the changes that would occur, and the beautiful colors, the nice weather, and of course that comes all before the cold of the winter and the ice and the snow and the gray clouds and all that. At least this part of it, the part where we definitely have this serene beauty of nature surrounding us, I think is what really appeals to me. And that, of course, comes part and parcel with what comes next, which is the nasty snow and the weather, and in Ohio in particular, the constant gray cloud cover for most of the winter really depresses me. So this is kind of like the calm before the storm, gathering yourself, preparing yourself for the winter, and yeah, just in general, relaxing oneself before bundling up and putting themselves in the position for preparing for the winter. And then of course there's other aspects to Thanksgiving, such as the food and the get-togethers, the family element and things like that. We're going to discuss some more of that coming on into the rest of the stream. But before we do that, let me just take you a little bit now into these fall vistas, and let's enjoy it a little bit more. Take a few minutes just to enjoy that calm, serene, and and maybe add a little bit of patience and virtue and loving kindness to our own selves just by being able to relax and watch some of this. So let me take you on over there. We're going to pause that. And we'll be back in just a little bit for the next part of this.
Red Bull verleiht Flügel.
Yeah, that's sometimes the downside to using free music is you never know what's going to be on there sometimes. I didn't happen to listen to that one beforehand, so that's on me. Let me see if we get this going here. Here we go. Okay. So now, me neither. Something about Vegas. So what I want to do now is talk about a small part of the history of the cornucopia. And the reason I want to do this is part and parcel with some of the other things that I want to do during this part, this stream in particular, which is Thanksgiving to so many people is about one of a couple of things, and that is religion, family, and thanks, actually giving thanks to for what you have. And to me, the religious aspect and the family aspect are not nearly as important as having a humble attitude, and being thankful for what you have in your life. The If I could put it in another way, I think the overwhelming majority of the world's problems is because nobody or way too few people have humility in their personality and their lives. And without that humility, you cannot truly be thankful for what you do have in your life, the things that are good and positive and uplifting. So like for instance, I knew you were going to bring this up, Selemu, the pilgrims. A big part, especially depending on how you were raised or who your family is, what color your skin is, a big part of a lot of people's Thanksgiving is celebrating pilgrims coming to America and creating the North American continent and creating the nation in which we now live. And there's definitely other holidays that also kind of echo those things where the people are happy about what occurred in history with Columbus coming to America, the English basically settling here and creating camps, and then those built into larger communities, and then cities, and then the things that followed with people from Europe settling here in America. And you're right. There's a lot of politics surrounding that. I do eventually want to address some of those things because I believe, Selemu, that there's maybe a couple of things you haven't necessarily taken into consideration, which happens with a lot of political things. But in particular, what I wanted to focus on today is not the history aspects of it, but the more of the giving thanks, and a little bit on the family aspect of it, because obviously in today's society, people are so busy with their own lives, with their jobs, with the commute, with paying the bills, managing the households, that they don't necessarily devote nearly as much time about to getting together with family, spending time together, and I'll also say at this point that it was something I said to my mom because I was invited to dinner at my aunt's house for Christmas this coming year. And I told her straight out, I don't know if I actually want to attend that because, in my opinion, family is not blood. Family is not who you are physically related to, you share DNA characteristics with. Family is who acts like family. I mean, to a large extent, a big portion of you folks, you fine folks, are my family because you treat me with respect. And yeah, yeah, I mean that's part of it is respecting people during COVID, just respecting people in general. How many people don't treat their own blood relatives like family? And I'm actually debating whether or not I want to go to the Christmas family get together this year because of just how many people in that side of my family don't treat me like family. So that's a big part of it. What I consider family, the way I would define family, is the people that are surrounding you that actually treat you like family with respect, with love, and with kindness. And that aspect is lost so much, I think, in today's society, and the way people think about other people, especially when it comes to politics or religion or some of those other things that are so divisive because people allow themselves to be divided. But in any case, so that's the family portion of it, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say on that. The being thankful part, though, that is what is really important to me about Thanksgiving. It's right in the title, Thanksgiving. You are giving thanks for what you have. You cannot properly celebrate a psychological holiday like Thanksgiving without being able to give thanks for what you have, and being humble enough to have that attitude, to be thankful in general for not only living, for living maybe in relative comfort, especially in relative comfort to other people. I mean, how many times did somebody hear when they were growing up, eat your food because there are starving children in China? Well, there's starving children everywhere. There's starving adults everywhere. Hunger is still a huge problem in the world. So just being able to have food to put on the table, you have to be thankful for, and otherwise, to do otherwise is not respectful in my opinion, uh, of how do I say that, of other people's situations. You're not taking other people into consideration. And I'm also a big fan of people being self-sufficient, and people being, how do I say, independent. But yeah, like you say, one out of six kids. So it could always be worse, and that's not belittling anybody's situation, but like when I look at what is going on in the world, and I say I have the ability, the wherewithal to work, to go and pay my bills, take care of my responsibilities, and put food on my table, I'm very thankful for that. And I feel that I have to have that humble attitude, just to be thankful for what I have. And I would hope that, many more people would be able to understand that in the world instead of constantly wanting more or wanting what their neighbor has or any of these things that just don't show respect. So at least that part of it, the Thanksgiving part, is to me the most important part of it. And it doesn't matter what religion you are. I mean, yeah, Thanksgiving obviously has deep roots, at least the way it's celebrated today in America, has deep roots in Christianity. But it doesn't matter what religion you are, you can be and should be humble and thankful for what you have. So that is where the cornucopia comes in. It actually has a lot of its roots in Greek and Roman mythology. So, like, I've got some pictures going here, and some of them are like that modern depictions of the cornucopia, which you always see the fruits and the vegetables, and maybe some pumpkins and flowers, and it's a very nice scene. It's always very colorful. But going back into Greek and Roman mythology, that image of the cornucopia was often a depiction of having an abundance of food and an abundance of the things that are necessary for life, and then further actually create comfort in life. So it's also called the Horn of Plenty, or at least that's a very rough translation. So a symbol of abundance and nourishment, and I'm just reading from Wikipedia here because it's pretty much spot on as far as the other research that I could do on this. A symbol of abundance and nourishment, commonly a large horn-shaped container overflowing with produce, flowers, or nuts. Sometimes, occasionally, in more historical pictures, you'd see meat, like maybe the leg of a lamb or the wool of a sheep. Sometimes some cuts of beef or pork. But that was more rare. It almost always the way you see it is produce, and that's because especially pre what we'd say pre 1900, produce was a huge part of every human's diet. It still is in many parts of the world. But like in America, we're very meat heavy. We do far more meat than most places in the world do, and other things that are far more what's the word I'm looking for? Decadent, maybe. Not necessarily very decadent, but I mean, cheesecake. There's there's parts of the world that have never even tried something like a cheesecake or anything like that. So we do get a little bit of decadence here, and we definitely play up. I think the characteristics of what a great feast can be by having way too much food, huge different variety, but then that also provides leftovers for however many days after that. At least we don't necessarily try to waste food here in America, but looking back at that, I think there's a big portion of why the Thanksgiving and other holiday get-togethers are very food heavy, is because it's a matter of looking at the abundance of what we have and then giving thanks for that. Short and sweet with the raid. Hello, welcome all you raiders. Let me go ahead and give you a nice little shout out there. Short and sweat. There you go. Thank you, Raiders. Welcome in. Hello. Glad to have you here. Hope your remaining Uno games were more than one. However you cast those cards. So we're just having a little bit of discussion on the cornucopia right now. But yeah, mostly it was a symbol of abundance. The fall harvest, bringing in a lot of food, or a certain level of food, where they said, yes, this is enough. We have enough to go through the winter. We don't have to go hungry. We don't have to necessarily ration. So the cornucopia was a symbol, and as you see in, yeah, like there, it's plenty. Some of the statues and figures like this, it would be sometimes people bearing cornucopias, bringing it in from the harvest, uh, and it was just a symbol that the community at large had enough to sustain themselves through the winter. It wasn't going to be a rough winter. So the the general concept behind the cornucopia was just that it was a carrying device bringing in produce, primarily from the fields, and that's how they would transport it. Not necessarily a shape like that, but any container really, bringing that produce in. It became then over the years a symbol of abundance and plenty for the people that were then looking to face the winter with the food that they had on hand from bringing in the harvest. Mr. Wrong with the raid, hello. How are you doing? I appreciate you. Welcome, Raiders. My name is Scotty, also known as EBC, and I appreciate you all coming to visit me at the behest of Mr. Wrong. Welcome. Thank you very much, and glad you could be here. So this is my Thanksgiving special. I'm going to backtrack even a little bit more again, and we're talking right now about the cornucopia, the history of the cornucopia, and how it became a symbol of abundance and plenty. Over the years, it actually has its roots in Greek mythology and Roman mythology. And let me just read that real quick section for you here. So there's no exact explanation of the origin of the cornucopia. It came from multiple different places, but one of the best known stories from that time, from Greek and Roman mythology, was it involved the birth and nurturance of the infant Zeus. So he had to be hidden from his devouring father Cronus. And in a cave on Mount Ida on the island of Crete, baby Zeus was cared for and protected by a number of different divine attendants, including the goat Amalthea, who was a nourishing goddess. You may have seen Amalthea in some depictions, also carrying a cornucopia, who fed him with her milk. The suckling future king of the gods had unusual abilities and strength, and in playing with his nursemaid accidentally broke off one of her horns, which then had the divine power to provide unending nourishment as the foster mother had to the god. In another myth, the cornucopia was created when Hercules wrestled with the river god Archelaus and ripped off one of his horns. River gods were sometimes depicted as horned. This vision is represented in Archelaus and Hercules mural painting by the American regionalist artist Thomas Hart Benton. I don't have a picture of that, though. But it became the tribute of several Greek and Roman deities, particularly those associated with the harvest, prosperity, spiritual abundance, such as personifications of Earth, Gaia or Terra, the child Plutus, gods of riches and son of the grain goddess Demeter, the nymph Maya and Fortuna, the goddess of luck, who had the power to grant prosperity. And just think about that. You're in a community in ancient Rome, and you have this harvest, and it's a great harvest, and all of this food is brought in. It's wonderful that you know it's not going to be a harsh and bitter winter where you have to micromanage the food just to survive through the winter. Instead, you have this great and bountiful harvest. And what a stroke of luck they would consider that, especially if you were spiritual and you're trying to thank the gods, that Fortuna was on your side and you were fortunate enough to have such a bountiful harvest. So yeah, that's definitely where we get a lot of the background behind the cornucopia is Greek and Roman mythology, where and any society basically where you basically had a harvest, and if it was a good harvest, you had plenty, it was abundant, you weren't going to starve during the winter, you were very fortunate, you were very thankful, and therefore eventually it came about that you would have a feast at the end of the harvest, after all of the hard work of bringing the harvest in, and everybody's now taken care of. We're done with all that hard work of bringing in the harvest, and now we're going to give thanks by having a big feast. And the entire community was involved. Everybody played a part in that feast, from the lowly children who would be tasked with things like peeling potatoes, not peeling, but like prepping potatoes, and simple tasks, churning butter, any of these things. That was a big part of it. The community all chipped in to have this big celebration, this feast, that over the years was called many different things. But in modern times, of course, we've known it as Thanksgiving. So then you kind of come to a modern depiction of Thanksgiving that kind of revolves, at least in America, around the Pilgrims. And I do want to touch a little bit on why that is so prevalent, or has been so prevalent, especially I would say in the latter half of the 20th century. And that is because when the Pilgrims first came to America, a lot of communities almost didn't survive. And one of those was Plymouth. At Plymouth Rock, the Pilgrims that were there almost didn't survive part of the first and second winters, and there's a whole long story that's involved with all of that. But it became even more of a centered and focused celebration in America at the end of the harvest, that they brought in all of this food and the communities were able to survive. So then it became even more of a sacred tradition in the fall to go ahead and have a Thanksgiving dinner, a Thanksgiving feast, where everyone in the community was much more involved. Now, I would say that part of the reason that it evolved into what we have now, where it's basically just family get-togethers, is because our communities are so vast, so large, that you really can't have the type of Thanksgiving feasts that they used to have in those days when a community was maybe a couple hundred people. And maybe they still do in some like very small town parts of America, but in general, I think it's been relegated to just getting together with your family members, simply because trying to get together with your entire community isn't feasible. And I think that's where a lot of the Christian aspects of it came into play. Not only, obviously, religious people giving thanks to God for a bountiful harvest, but also, putting into practice with those traditions and with those get-togethers this concept that not only do you have to be thankful, not only do you have to pray to God and thank him for this beautiful bounty, but you also have to focus on getting together and being a family, and the religious aspects that come with that. So obviously, it's taken a lot of different twists and turns, a lot of changes into what Thanksgiving has been over the years. But like I said before, I think it's really important to focus on the fact that no matter what religion you are, even if you aren't religious at all, it doesn't matter what you believe in. There's a time in our life where we have to just be thankful for what we have. And what better time to do that than at a time when everybody else is getting together to kind of do the same thing, Thanksgiving or any other time. Now, I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and I'm no longer a Jehovah's Witness. I haven't been for quite some time. Jehovah's Witnesses do not celebrate holidays. Nope, hold on. My headphones are deciding to die. Including Thanksgiving. And when I asked my mom, what is the reason behind witnesses not celebrating a holiday like Thanksgiving, she said, and I'll never forget this, she said, because we should be thankful every day. And that's definitely true. You should be thankful for what you have every day. But I think it's also maybe important to focus a lot of that energy of being thankful for what you have into maybe one event. Not necessarily a holy day, but being able to get together with your family and you know that that's an event that you want to take place with. And thanks, Pretzel. I don't even know where that's coming from. Anyway, yeah. So enough jibber jabber. That's pretty much what I wanted to say on all of that. You get the gist of it. Thanksgiving, be humble, be thankful, and don't take it for granted. You never know, because there could be hard times ahead, and as we discussed maybe in an earlier stream here, be kind to one another. Be thankful for what it is that is in your life now, because if you take it for granted, it may not be there soon. And keep it simple, because your life could probably be a lot more complicated than it is. So, well, I appreciate you too. You don't have to necessarily put me in that spotlight, because it's definitely not about me. I guarantee that. I'm just here to maybe shed a little light, a little friendliness. So, digital dad of the interwebs. All right, so enough about that. Let's go over to my next segment here. Food drive. It is a big part of every fall, I would say, in general, especially leading up to like Christmas. So in the spirit of those community emojis, icons, emoticons, little pictures, we're gonna do a live food drive, virtual food drive right now. Everybody that's in the chat. So let's see. I don't have an accurate count. It looks like there's maybe, I don't know, 15 or 20 people here. Twitch is being twitchy. The way this is going to work is very simple. If you are watching this stream on a PC, it's not going to necessarily work as well. If you're watching on mobile, that's excellent, because Your phone you can pick up and take with you. And here's how I want to do this. If you are on mobile now, pick up your phone and go walk to your pantry. If you're on PC, maybe go immediately after this and go to your pantry so you can hear what I have to say. But if you're watching this stream right now on mobile, pick up your phone, get your ass off of that couch, go to your pantry right now, and go stand in front of that. Turn on the light so you can see. You don't need to be tripping over any shit. And what I want you to do is go to your pantry right now, and we've got plenty of food in that pantry. Why? Because we had a good harvest. You fell down, Doom. That's not good. I told you not to trip. You're not listening to me. Turn on a frickin' light, you Doom. But yeah, go to your pantry right now. If you're on mobile, it's perfect. You can take me with you. You can take my fat ass with you to the pantry. Turn on the light so you can see what the hell you're doing. Stand in front of your pantry, because we are right now going to pick food out of your pantry that you're going to be able to donate tomorrow or early this coming week. So look at your pantry. You've got the spaghetti, you've got the tomato sauce, you've got the green beans, you've got the soup, you've got the coffee up there. Any non-perishable goods, and you know what a non-perishable good is: anything in a sealed can, anything that has a shelf life, it can sit there on the shelf, does not need to be refrigerated. Anything non-perishable, I want you to go ahead and pick that out. We're not going to be taking the coffee, because we absolutely need the coffee in the morning, but if you got an extra can of coffee right now, I want you to pull that out, grab a box, set it on the floor, set it on the counter next to you. Any little bits and pieces. We got 3 cans of green beans in there. We're going to take one of those. We got a box of spaghetti. Maybe not, but we're going to go to the store in a day so we can get another spaghetti. Pull that out. You got 6 cans of tuna in there, like I do, because I'm on the keto diet. Pull out 3 of them. So just anything and everything that fits the bill in your pantry right now, I want you to pull it out. And what we're going to do here is, even if it's 2 items, I don't care. 2 items, 20 items, anything that you have in your pantry that you can donate. Now what I want you to do is either message me on Discord, or you could put it in the chat if you don't mind. Put your zip code so that I can search right now live on the stream where you can go to donate that. So put your zip codes in the chat, or message me on Discord with your zip code. If you don't feel comfortable putting in the chat, we'll find a donation location right near you. And anything that you're in the pantry with there, keep searching. Not that, no, we're going to keep that, but this here, especially the things that you bought a while ago and you have not found a use for. Okay, you have not found a use for it, like the can of creamed spinach. Ugh, it doesn't matter. Somebody will be able to use it. So all of those things, pull them out of the pantry, and right now we're going to look live and find your local donation bank. So we got this here. All right, the first one is 43207. Okay, so for 43207, your donation location is the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, 3960 Brookham Drive, Grove City, Ohio. Once again, 3960. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this here. It's just so we don't lose this. 3960. Oh. Brookham. Brookham. All right, 43207. That is your donation location there. That is the closest to you in Grove City. That is perfect to go and drop them off. Let's see here. Do we have any other information on that? No. I was hoping it would give me like some hours in that, but it doesn't. But I will here. I'll also do this. Let's give you the phone number just in case you need to call them. There we go. 614-277-3663, the Mid-Ohio Food Bank on Brookham Drive. That's for the 43207 area code. All right, next one is 44. Let's see here. 44646. I definitely got to get some new headphones. These ones are on their last legs. Oh, here we go. Did that work? Yep, there we go. All right, so for 44646, we've got the Akron Canton Regional Food Bank. That's 350 Opportunity Parkway. Let's put this in here. 350 Opportunity Parkway, Akron. There, and we get a phone number for them that is 330-535-6900. He said 69. All right. So once again, we are doing a virtual food drive. Go to your pantry right now and pull out anything that you don't need. You got 2 boxes of spaghetti. You can donate one of them. We got 3 cans of soup. And you can do without at least one of those cans of soup. I know it's soup weather, but you really gotta dig deep. So 44646 there. We got the Mid-Ohio, no, the Akron Canton Regional Food Bank on Opportunity Parkway. There you go. That's the best spot for you. Okay, next zip code here. We've got 95355. 95355. All right. Let's see here. We got that is going to be the Second Harvest of the Greater Valley. That's 122 Vanderbilt Circle, Manteca, California, and let's get a phone number for them. That is 209-239-2091. So for the zip code 95355, that's where you're going to go. The Second Harvest of the Greater Valley on Vanderbilt Circle. And there you go. You like? Well, there you go. If anybody lives in what the crazy zip codes in California, man. 95355. That's where you got to go. 1220 Vanderbilt Circle, and there's the phone number for them. Virtual food drive. If you're just joining us, if you're here from the raids, I really appreciate you. You can send me a message on Discord or post in your chat your zip code. I will tell you where your closest food bank is that you can donate the food. Go to your pantry right now for me. Pull out anything that you're not going to be using, and you can donate it. It just needs to be non-perishable. Some food banks do take perishable items such as milk or meats or cheese or things like that do need to be refrigerated, but you want to call ahead and ask them what their restrictions are on that. They probably want you to drop it off during business hours when they're open, and they can actually take it and immediately put it in refrigeration. But non-perishable goods are always good. Usually those places have 24-hour drop-off. You can just leave it on the step or by the bay door, whatever they have there. Virtual food drive, anything that you can donate is definitely helpful. And if you get a chance sometime early this week, go and take that up to your food bank location and make it happen. And of course, you can always spread the word, Hey, you got any food I can take to the food bank for you? Or you could put it out on your social media. Hey, it's that time of the year. Anybody that can, donate to the food bank, maybe you can go and pick up somebody that isn't easily able to get to the food bank. But they've got some food you want to donate. You can contact some of your relatives or your friends and say, hey, I'm trying to do some food bank collection. Do you have anything you'd like to donate for me? And you can take it up for them. That, in my opinion, and we're going to probably dive into this a lot deeper in a month with my Christmas special, is the spirit of giving. We've got the thanks and we've got the giving. So that can go a long, long way to ending hunger in any location around the world. I know we've got some UK friends here, some people in Thailand, in Canada, and elsewhere. Find your local food bank. Donate even just a couple of things, and anything that you can donate is greatly appreciated. It doesn't matter how small it is. And oftentimes, especially when you do this kind of thing, you go through your pantry and you find things that have been in there forever, but they're still within date. That's one thing, is they do ask, usually at the food banks, that everything is still within a date, a best by date or a sell by date. So just make sure that it's not expired. But things that you picked up at the store because it was a good deal, or you thought you might try it, or you didn't like it, but you've got more of them, or something like that. It really does not matter, because the food banks are excellent at distribution, at breaking that up. And maybe somebody over here would like this thing because they are a fan of that and you're not. So food banks are excellent at that kind of distribution, making sure that all the food that does come in gets out, and food isn't wasted if they can help it. So if we have anything else here, I'm going to keep that open. Post your zip codes, and I can always go back to that and check it out and see where it is that you're going to be donating food, or the closest donation in your area location. And we can do that through the rest of the stream. Anybody else that kind of missed it right now, we had a couple here, but anybody else, you can message me on Discord or post it in the chat here, your zip code, and we will find out where you go. And anybody that was able to do that, thank you. I really appreciate you doing that. Food donation, in my opinion, is one of the easiest and best ways that you can give during holiday seasons, and everybody else along the chain will appreciate it too. So thank you very much, and that's just that's just the way I think is the easiest way to go ahead and try to make a difference, is by taking the stuff that at the very least you're not going to use, but you can also go ahead and donate a portion of what you have and make a difference. So it's very much appreciated. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am glad you are here to assist me with that. All right, so we're going to take a very short commercial break here, and then come back, and we're going to do a Thanksgiving tier maker with holiday food, Thanksgiving food, and we're going to have a nice deep discussion on that, in which part of my opinions are probably going to be as popular as Cage's opinions, or we'll see. But we're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back then for tier maker Thanksgiving edition. See you in just a bit. Okay. So let's see. I gotta bring this up here. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay. No, that's not going to work. Hold on. Let's do this here. There we go. All right. So this is just a basic Thanksgiving food ranker on Tier Maker. And unfortunately, I didn't have time to customize them more. But we are definitely going to be able to go, I think, through each individual item and talk about like variations. And of course, if you have like a favorite thing that is not on the list, these lists are not very good in my opinion that I've seen on Tier Maker. You know, like where you've got things that. Obviously, turkey is popular on Thanksgiving, but sparkling juice, not so much. But yeah, so if you see anything that's not on the list, what I want you to do is in the chat do this. So let's say we want pickles on the list. I want you to do this in chat so I see it, and we're gonna do. Asterisk, 3 asterisks, pickles in all caps, just like that. So anything you don't see in the list that you want me to go ahead and rank or you think should be included, and we'll have a conversation on it, put it in the chat like that. And we will also address that. All right, so deviled eggs. Well, deviled eggs, elite. Absolutely, I love eggs, and I love deviled eggs. They're a pain in the ass to make, but I will eat the shit out of deviled eggs all day long. You bring in a tray of deviled eggs that's got like maybe 12 or 18 half eggs on there with the little yeah, I will eat the whole fucking tray. The whole tray. Because I love deviled eggs. I actually make deviled eggs salad. You know, like egg salad, but with the deviled, the paprika and all that stuff. I make that regularly. So I love deviled eggs. Elite tier for sure. Oyster dressing. I have never had that. So it's going to be hard for me to really... I mean, they didn't have a tier, and I didn't add in a tier for never had it. But just in general, I'm not a big fan of oysters, mussels, clams, and that. So I'll put it in maybe. Oyster dressing, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Oyster dressing, maybe. I will try anything once, maybe twice. But yeah, and desserts are fine. Yeah. So just as long as you give me all of the deviled eggs, we'll be fine. Yeah. I don't know. Depends. 7-layer salad. Doom, did you find out what is in the 7-layer salad? Because the last I heard there was peas and sweet potatoes or something else, and that was it. So did you find out the actual 7 layers in the 7-layer salad? Because that's something particular, I think, to your family get-togethers, because that's another thing I never heard of. I love salad in general as well. So we'll see. I'm not opposed to trying it, and if it's a just a salad like in general with like a cream dressing or ranch dressing or something like that, by all means, I'm all for it, and I'd probably put that in the great category. But this is twice now. You have mentioned 7-layer salad, and you don't know what the fuck is in it. So go find out from whoever makes it in your family what is in the 7-layer salad and post it in the Discord, because we need to know now. This isn't going to do just not knowing. So yeah, okay. Mandarin orange pretzel salad. I've heard of variations on this that are like a fruit salad or something like that. And I'm not opposed to those. I would put it in the okay category, I think, especially like if you're using it as a dip. Like I've heard of 7-layer dips and stuff like that. So yeah, iceberg lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, sweet peas, hard-boiled eggs, sharp cheddar, and bacon. Hell yeah, bring it on. Elite, absolutely. What's the dressing? What? Yeah, it definitely has peas. Okay, there you go. No sweet potatoes though. I'm assuming maybe what? No cucumbers. Gross. Get the hell out of here, Salamu. Cucumbers are fantastic. Oh, you're done. Bye. Good night. Oh my God, you're losing me, Salamu. I'm telling you what. Here, okay, yeah. I like I said, I love dressing or a salad in general. And I would agree with just about everything. Peas in general, I've never put peas in salad. But aside from like snap peas or occasionally I've done green beans, but I do them whole. I just cut off the ends and put them in whole. So I don't know about sweet peas. Snap peas I've done in salad, but yeah, in general, that's probably it's probably fine. Peppers. Oh my God, who even are you? You don't like peppers, onions, celery, cucumber? Oh, jeez. Anyway, turkey. Turkey. Oh, I'm in the wrong thing here. I got to do it on this thing. Turkey. Okay. Not great. Really has to be well done. And I can take it or leave it. I love meats in general, but I've had way too many turkeys that were dry, overcooked, just in general. And it seems to be like the general theme of turkey not being done right is it's not cooked properly. Maybe because the person cooking it doesn't necessarily know what they're doing. Hell, I don't know what I'm doing. I never do whole birds. So I'm not opposed to turkey, but it definitely has to be done well in order for me to enjoy it. Mexican street corn is definitely an elite, but I doubt I doubt that it's a big part of many people's Thanksgiving dinner. So yeah, maybe save it for Cinco de Mayo. All right. I like turkey. Used to get them as a Christmas bonus. Yeah, yeah. Overcooked turkey is just like no, you're eating shoe leather and yeah. Okay, so pumpkin pie definitely elite. My svelte figure comes from many pumpkin pie slices. I'm not a big fan of whipped cream like some people are. They want to bury the whole slice of pie in whipped cream. But I just like a little bit, maybe a little bit of whipped cream on my pie. But pumpkin pie, elite. Most pies in general, especially apple pie. Yeah, just pie. I love pie. Oh, pie is great. Pumpkin cheesecake. Pumpkin cheesecake. I am such a basic bitch. Pumpkin spice anything. Mwah. Yes, pumpkin cheesecake is to die for. It's not on the list, but just in general, pumpkin pie, apple pie, cherry pie, grape pie. Love it. I am a pie aficionado. Yeah, cherry cobbler. That's a good one too. Cobbler's peach cobbler. In specific, I think. But yes, I will not pass the desserts at all if I'm not on my diet and I'm cheating. So yeah, pumpkin rolls. My mom used to make the best pumpkin rolls. Biscuits. Let's put it in great, especially if they're done right. You get some nice fluffy biscuits and some butter to slather on there. Excellent, excellent. homemade butterscotch meringue. Never had that. I have had lemon meringue. I've had lime meringue. I've had coconut meringue, but I've never had butterscotch meringue. So if you're trying to find ideas on things that you can make for me, there you go. That's a oh yeah. I will try anything once, and I will usually also finish things like that I like. What does this say? Brussels sprouts. I'm not opposed to them. But my issue with Brussels sprouts is they're basically just little frickin' cabbages, little heads of cabbage. And if I want cabbage, I'll eat fucking cabbage. Brussels sprouts are expensive, very expensive forms of cabbage. And yeah, no, I'm like, either way, God. Yeah, they taste like cabbage to me. You saute them just like you saute cabbage, and yeah, taste the same. Chocolate chip cookie pie, 100%. You got me there. I will do that all day long. Oh, I see. I'm not a big fan of recipes, though. So I kind of make it up as I go along. Squash. Great. Fantastic. Buttered spaghetti squash is a beautiful, beautiful addition to any meal, especially a Thanksgiving meal. So yeah, a little butter, a little salt on the squash, winter squash, or gourds. You can also cook gourds the same way. It's a little more bitter, and not quite the soft consistency of squash, but they still have an excellent taste. Sauerkraut, yep. I will do sauerkraut all day long. Jellied cranberry. Now, we got this, and we've got real cranberry sauce. Now, jellied cranberry. See, this is the thing. This has been a big part of many American Thanksgiving get-togethers for several years, made popular by the grocery industry, who said, cranberry sauce in its more natural form is very expensive to produce and sell in quantities and things like that. So they came out with the canned version that just does not do it justice. I'm sorry. And in general, I find the canned version to be extremely icky sweet. So I think maybe I really gotta be in the mood for the canned jellied cranberry that slurps out of the can like a giant purple turd, and then you gotta slice it up like maybe. I don't know. All right, green bean casserole. God-like. I will eat same thing with deviled eggs. All day long, I will eat complete meals of nothing but green bean casserole all day long. Thank you so much. If you are producing green bean casserole, you might as well make a second dish entirely for me. Cornbread. Cornbread done right. That's light and fluffy and has, the texture to it, I would put in great. In general, like Jiffy cornbread, I think we're going to put in okay. It's okay. Yes, butter, honey, or if you've never tried it, try it with mayonnaise. Just a light little coating of mayonnaise on there. It gives it a little bit of tang and zing. Not bad. But we'll put it generally in just okay because very few people make cornbread from scratch. And that's really what it requires to be great. I'd rather have, I think, biscuits or buttered rolls or something like that. Especially Cheddar Bay biscuits from Red Lobster. Those are fantastic. So, let's talk about like any other forms of bread. We've got croissants. Excuse me. We've got croissants. We've got the little crescent rolls, which are essentially like mini croissants, but it's a little bit more of a how do I say slightly different dough. It feels like than a regular croissant. We've also got French bread, sugar rolls. Depends. Okay, yeah, King's Hawaiian. King's Hawaiian, I definitely got to be in the mood for it though. That's probably in the same tier as cornbread. Um, Not so keen on like the flavor of King's Hawaiian. Like, yeah, it's kind of a staple, but I don't know. I think we can do better than King's Hawaiian. I think if we, just get a nice um, uh, a nice baguette, a nice crispy French loaf, with some good cinnamon butter or something like that. Never had monkey bread. Yeah, yeah, sliders with Hawaiian. The sliders are extremely easy to do with Hawaiian too, and they come out nice. Does it have corn in it or no? I don't know monkey bread. Never heard of it. So, other forms of bread, yeah, definitely. I think a good French bread or a baguette. Um, but yeah, a White Castle. We haven't had a White Castle around here in forever. Doom's got one down by him in Columbus. But yeah, I liked their crinkle fries, but Arby's has crinkle fries now. Okay, corn. I used to be the biggest corn on the cob eater until I realized that I didn't like the little kernels getting stuck in my teeth and the slobber from trying to eat it off of the cob. I do like canned corn, sauteed in butter and spices and stuff like that. I have done the Mexican street corn, the what is that, the elotes, and yeah, cut it off. But my mom, anytime she makes corn, she does that. She will, get the little thingamabobbers that go in the end and boil them like that. And it's just, yeah, I'd rather say no. So, maybe, but I'd rather have like, some fresher or canned corn, sauteed in butter, something like that. It's so messy. I can't do that. Regular cranberry sauce, like fresh cranberry sauce, where you actually make it from scratch. Great. Fantastic. Hard to find. I mean, I've made it before myself, but it's not common to see that a lot anymore. Monkey bread. Soft, sweet, sticky pastry for breakfast as a treat consists of soft baked dough sprinkled with cinnamon. It is often served at fairs and festivals. Okay, that sounds kind of similar to elephant ears. That's not baked, that's fried, but or a cinnamon roll. Now cinnamon rolls, yeah, that's excellent. We'll see. Potato rolls are greater than generic dinner rolls. Yeah, yep, I could see that. Some nice Polish potato rolls. All right, creamed corn. Now, this is more what I was talking about. Let's move this up to okay. Creamed corn, I could definitely do over corn on the cob any day. I'd rather just have basic. You get a can of corn, dump it in the pan, put in some butter, put in some salt and pepper, and that's it, just like that. And that's probably the best way that I would eat corn. Hard pass on cream corn. Yeah, it's not for everybody. I get that. All right, dinner rolls. We kind of discussed that. Let's put that up here with biscuits. Great. Anytime. I'd rather have that more than cornbread, I think. But yeah, just in general, you've got to have good bread as a side. Gravy. Let's do this first. We got mashed potatoes that Short and Sweet was saying mashed potatoes are in the God tier. Well, gravy goes on everything. It depends on the gravy, too. Like, do you have turkey gravy, or do you have beef gravy, or chicken gravy, or something like that? Uh, I'm surprised nobody's screaming at me for putting mashed potatoes in hard pass. No, they are God tier. Of course they are. Who doesn't like mashed potatoes? I mean, obviously you want to dress it up a little bit. Just plain potatoes is not great. You want at least some butter and salt and pepper on there. Maybe a little cheese, gravy. Now I've also had mashed potatoes that had meat built into them, like ground beef or bits of chicken or turkey. And one thing that I always loved to do when my mom made them was get a pile of mashed potatoes and a pile of that regular corn, the buttered corn that I said, and you get a little half a spoonful of corn and a half a spoonful of mashed potatoes, and you eat it like that. That to me is at least something you have to try once in your life. But yeah, definitely mashed potatoes. I have never met a spud that I did not like, with or without gravy. But we'll put if you're doing mashed potatoes with like a Thanksgiving style dinner, you definitely want the turkey gravy on the mashed potatoes. If you're doing roast with mashed potatoes, you want that roast gravy definitely on the potatoes. It adds so much in flavor and texture and style. So we'll put gravy up here. Definitely, depending on the type of meat you are serving as the main part of the dish, you got to have a good gravy with it. And the nice thing about gravy is that it's kind of hard to mess up if you just follow a basic recipe with gravy. It almost always comes out pretty well. You can't hurt it a lot. Now, this is where I may lose some of you. I have never been a big fan of ham. Every once in a while, I can get into a hot ham and cheese sandwich or a chicken cordon bleu sandwich. Or even like you sometimes see in the grocery store, those chicken pockets. That's a chicken cordon bleu or chicken Kiev. And it's got it built into the inside of the chicken, and the whole thing is breaded. I could do that. But just ham by itself, I'm not a big fan of like the flavor of regular ham. And I've had too many hams before where it's kind of stringy, or the texture isn't great, or something else is weird with it. I'm going to put that in hard pass. Like I said, I will do a chicken cordon bleu sandwich or a occasionally hot ham and cheese. I really got to be in the mood for that. But in general, nah, I can do without the ham. Every time my mom makes it and we go over her house, I'm just like, yeah, okay, what else you got? Nah. It's all right. It's not great. I'd rather do something different. Macaroni and cheese. Godlike. Oh my god, it's godlike. Now, I will say this. It is really hard to find a good mac and cheese at a restaurant. A lot of different places have tried to do maybe their own spin on it. I grew up with Kraft macaroni and cheese. and whatever the Aldi's off-brand version was. Love macaroni and cheese in its very basic form, but it's kind of hard to find restaurants that do it justice. I am kind of a fan of Arby's version of mac and cheese. That's kind of like a white cheddar deal. It's not too bad, in my opinion, but you're gonna have to do it justice to win me over. Love mac and cheese, but it's very hard, I think, to come by a very good version of it. You go some of these finer restaurants that'll do like on flambe and crusted whatever bullshit. It's baked and all this shit. Half the time it doesn't taste good to me. It's got bad textures, or it's overcooked or something like that. So it definitely has to be done right. But when it is done right, it is god tier. Absolutely, I'll get thirds of those along with the mashed potatoes, and the pie. Look at that. That's my holiday meal right there. Green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, and pie. If you are doing that meal, I will come and eat the shit out of that. All right. Wine in general. This says red wine. But wine in general, I think is I think it's a good supplement to a good meal. And I'm not a connoisseur of wine in the least, but you definitely we'll put it up here. It definitely can play a role. Let's leave it at that. The credibility of the wine going with the meal has to do with a lot of different things. And it can't just be like your favorite wine or something like that. You really got to put some thought into it. I do have a bottle. As soon as people are coming up here to... I know Joel's going to be throwing a housewarming party soon. So at least the Ohio peeps that are going to be coming up for that. I have a bottle of Walking Dead wine that was gifted to me a couple of Christmases ago. And we will be opening that fucker. And we will be celebrating. So we will definitely have that night. But yeah, I think it really needs to complement the meal, and you have to put some thought into that. Which type of wine, either a red or a white, or dry versus whatever else you're putting in there. Like, I'm a big fan of Pink Catawba, which is a local wine from Lake Erie. And but it doesn't go with everything. So you have to put some definite thought in that. What do we have here? Roasted vegetables. Yes, definitely with that, especially sauteed in butter, some salt and pepper. In particular, cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, potatoes. What else are you going to put in there? Maybe some pearl onions. Hard to say. It depends on what it is. Like if it's cooked spinach. Nope. Cooked spinach, fuck you. Goodbye. No. Absolutely can't stand it. But I like veggies in general. It depends on what it is. We definitely need to have in, at least with a Thanksgiving dinner, we gotta have not only mashed potatoes, but some roasted potatoes, like some small whole roasted potatoes, with some carrots and some what's the other thing? Onions, pearl onions, or small little onions, sweet onions. That's kind of a staple, I think, for... Yeah, no shit, Celebu. That's why I have my svelte figure. Carbs are definitely comfort food for a lot of people, especially for me. And yeah, so with the keto diet, I found a lot of ways to kind of circumvent that, like not eating bread, or at least not something that isn't keto bread now they provide. I love mac and cheese, I love mashed potatoes, but I haven't had them in quite some time, when I'm trying to stick to the diet. So yeah, a lot of carbs. Carbs are definitely a comfort food for me. So, what do we scallop potatoes? Scallop potatoes, not so much. I do like them, especially of the au gratin variety. Like I said, I never met a spot I didn't like. I definitely could eat the shit out of those, but not quite as much necessarily as mashed potatoes or roasted, or of course, if you're venturing into other areas like French fries, or potato cakes, Polish potato cakes. Oh, yeah. All right. Sparkling juice. I'm not gonna say no to it, but it's like, okay, maybe. Along that same lines, and along the lines with wine, are we gonna do maybe some champagne? Are we going to do some other kind of celebratory fizzy drink? That sparkling juice to me is more of like a Christmas into New Year's Eve thing. So not necessarily Thanksgiving, something I would consider for Thanksgiving. Maybe when I was younger and I wasn't allowed to have alcohol, that was more of a thing. Stuffing, I don't know why it's so low on the list, but I can definitely do some good stuffing. If it's done right. For years, my mom would make whole birds, and I remember getting those whole birds and stuffing the breading and the mix into the cavity like I was a bird surgeon, and just raping this bird with stuffing. And why? Just so it cooks inside the bird, and you don't actually get a lot of like the bird flavor into the stuffing that way. It's just something you did. So obviously making stuffing differently. Now, here's the thing. I thought recently, now that I have options for keto bread, that I want to do just some basic things like stuffing with the keto version of the bread, because that wasn't available before. And if I was on the keto diet and I didn't have those options, I'm not having stuffing or mashed potatoes or mac and cheese. Just sticking to the diet. So now that there are more options there available for me in that department, I'm definitely going to try to branch out and do, stuffing, breading, croutons. Croutons is the biggest thing, because I love croutons on salad. I love the crunch of croutons on salad. And the capability of doing that while sticking on the keto diet is breathtaking. That now I can just throw some slices into the oven, crisp them up real well, cut them into pieces maybe first, and do that, and then throw those on my salad. Beautiful. I love it. All right, and this is potato casserole, but any casserole in general, it has to be done well. It really does. Potato casserole, party potatoes, fiesta potatoes, the one I'm most familiar with is like a sort of a cream base that's maybe like sour cream, and some other things. Sweet potatoes. We'll address that in a second here. And then you go to put it in the oven and you crush either potato chips or like flake cereal, corn flake cereal, Kellogg's, and you spread that over the top and you bake it like that, and it adds the crisp when you spoon it out. Yeah, I'm not opposed to that, but again, it has to be done right, and casseroles in general. any casserole that you're gonna do. You know, you can't make it with shit materials. You've got to have, a nice quality ingredients and cook it properly. It's too easy to ruin casseroles, I think. Now, sweet potatoes was not on the list. Let's see, we've got sweet potato pie. We've got, isn't there like a sweet potato version where they put like brown sugar on it and bake it like that? Brown sugar and butter, maybe. And what's the other thing? Sweet potato fries. Me neither, Tuba. I've tried various versions of sweet potatoes, and I'm so much more a fan of regular potatoes that sweet potatoes just don't do it justice to me. Like, I would rather always pick regular fries over sweet potato fries. And when it can, and I have tried like a regular sweet potato casserole, I guess, or I don't think I've ever tried sweet potato pie, but I think it's just like a regular traditional Thanksgiving meal of sweet potatoes where you put butter and brown sugar on it and you just bake them like that. And I've tried that and I'm like, it's okay. Maybe. Much rather have any other form of regular potato because that's going to be the highlight of my meal. So I'm not opposed to it, but if it's between sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes, I'm gonna pick mashed potatoes every time. It doesn't matter. There's no necessity for me to go and get some of the sweet potatoes, and sweet potato pie. I think is probably kind of in the same vein as like pumpkin pie. You would put some sugar and cinnamon in there. So I wouldn't be opposed to tasting it, but yeah, it's hard to say. So we'll see. So I guess really the only hard pass I'd have on all of this is ham. If you've got some other form of meat, I'm and maybe we'll put the sweet potatoes in the same vein as that. And there's some other foods I don't really care for and I would never go out of my way to buy, like beets and cooked spinach is nasty. That's but yeah, at least as far as the Thanksgiving meals go, if we have not addressed any foods that you want to address, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll rank those real quick. But we're gonna be wrapping up here pretty soon because Cage started, I think, right? Yeah, Cage started with Whitney. Dead Rising 3. They're gonna be killing lots of zombies. So we're gonna raid into them in just a second. But yeah, that's generally it. I probably didn't piss a lot of people off here with my opinions, except for maybe Ham or I don't know. It's hard not to like most of this stuff because most of it's kind of geared towards satisfying you. But yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up. I've got one more thing for you, and that is the fantastic scene from the Addams Family. Their celebration of Thanksgiving, if you haven't seen this, it came out about 30 years ago, something like that. and I find it really funny. So we'll do that, and then we'll do a couple of quick coming attractions and get the hell out of here and go see Cage and Whitney. All right, here we go.
So glad we invited the Chippewas to join us for this holiday meal. Remember, these savages are our guests. We must not be surprised at any of their strange customs. After all, they have not had our advantages, such as fine schools, libraries full of books, shampoo. How? I am Pocahontas, a Chippewa maiden.
An Indian.
Enough said.
And I am Running Bear, betrothed to Pocahontas. In the play.
20 grand for summer camp. He's Mr. Woo-Woo.
We have brought a special gift for this holiday feast. I am a turkey. Kill thoughtful gift. Why, you are as civilized as we, except we wear shoes and have last names. Welcome to our table, our new primitive friends.
Thank you, Sarah Miller. You're the most beautiful person I've ever seen. Your hair is the color of the sun. Your skin is like fresh milk. And everyone loves you.
Stop! Sit.
Wait,
What?
we cannot break bread with you.
Huh? Becky, what's going on?
Wednesday! You have taken the land which is rightfully ours. Years from now, my people will be forced to live in mobile homes, on reservations. Your people will wear cardigans and drink highballs. We will sell our bracelets by the roadsides. You will play golf and enjoy hot hors d'oeuvres. My people will have pain and degradation. Your people will have stick shifts. The gods of my tribe have spoken. They have said, do not trust the pilgrims. Especially Sarah Miller.
Gary, she's changing the words.
And for all these reasons, I've decided to scalp you and burn your village to the ground.
Children, can't stop it! You're destroying my text!
He's not a team player.
Well, he's a special child, but he needs friends.
He needs friends like this.
I beg your pardon.
Always love that scene. That's great. All right, so coming attractions tomorrow night, 7 p.m. right here on EBC 2021, The Amazing Mr. X, our first film noir from 1948. You're not going to want to miss it. Great fun, great fun. The Amazing Mr. X tomorrow at 7. Then, coming up here tomorrow night on Short and Sweet's channel, that's Short and Sweet 8402, Reading in the Dark, the discussion book club style of Carrie by Stephen King, starring Short and Sweet herself, Watch Whitney, Steph Babies, and Riley and Cecilia from the Horror Struck podcast. And then, of course, we're going to be back with a nice little fireside chat on Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. right here. Some crackling fires, some nice calm discussion, and maybe a little bit of paraphernalia of the Christmas variety. You never know. And then, one more thing coming up, Arcade. Our final episode of 2021 is going to be on Sunday, December 5th. That's a week from today, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our guest for that evening is Rageful Riot OG, and I believe the game that will be discussed that evening is Ocarina of Time. I believe that's what he is going with to present to us. And that will be the last episode of Arcade for 2021. Then we're going to take a month off and be back in the second week of January to pick up with the rest of the season for Arcade. So, yeah, that's what's coming up here. Don't miss it. Let's see. Let's go raid our good buddy Legion Cage. And thank you all for joining me this evening for the EBC Thanksgiving Special. We will see you tomorrow night if you so choose to join us for the amazing Mr. X starting at 7 p.m. And lots of good stuff coming up. So stay tuned. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you later. Adios. Get your emotes ready to bombard the Cage chat. And make him think that Twitch is breaking again, because it breaks a lot. But yeah, just go completely bombard his chat with all your emotes, and we'll see you next time. Adios.